Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Some of the headlines up on Infowars.com. Man fakes beheading video, fools global media. Now even Al Jazeera is saying those beheading videos are fake. I don't know. Syrian rebel commander, yes, we're still collaborating with ISIS. Well, of course the Syrian rebels are ISIS. Obama's long ISIS war, they're now saying it will take years and kill thousands. Another video I want to play and talk about, man arrested for filming militarized police raid. He's across the street. The police are obviously violating his First Amendment. I'm tired of the war on the press. Vaccine brain damage cover-up has officially imploded as more whistleblowers go public from the CDC. There's 2 of them now that were involved in the publishing of reports saying there's no link to autism. They said the evidence shows the opposite. A tripling in autism in black boys that take it. And that is, they believe, some correlation to, on average, blacks having more testosterone earlier, sub-Saharan blacks, if you read the studies, but then it goes down quicker. Asians have as much testosterone but don't have the cofactors to absorb it. I was reading a medical paper on this morning just to make sure I was accurate. And then whites, Europeans, have testosterone at higher levels longer, but not as much early on. And testosterone, for whatever reason, combined with the mercury, just absolutely devastates the brains. And if mothers are taking it when they're pregnant, then it gets into the baby as well. But we've always known most autistic kids are boys. So it's really bad whether you're Hispanic, white, you name it. But if you're black, I mean, you don't give vaccines to your baby. Now, you're not going to have Al Sharpton telling you that because he doesn't actually care about you. In fact, I've seen white racist on Infowars.com going, the blacks are killing us and they're taking over. What the hell are you doing? Telling them not to take the shots. We need to kill these people. I mean, it's just incredible. You got blacks wanting to beat up innocent white people. You got white people wanting to kill the blacks. It's just a bunch of idiocy, a bunch of tribal, mindless garbage. We have to transcend this, talk about what's happening to everybody, because the globalists are targeting everybody. Studies show fluoride hits blacks even worse. Blacks, on average, are very sensitive. Very sensitive to a lot of chemicals, drugs. I mean, just look at the numbers. Blacks have double the prostate cancer in this country of any other group. Black females have got the highest rates of breast cancer. Don't you think people might want to find out why that's happening? Because the stuff they're putting in the water, ladies and gentlemen, on average, goes after souped-up nervous systems. And, I mean, you know, to survive in Africa, you got to have a souped-up nervous system. The whole world's a dangerous place. But you put people from sub-Saharan Africa, it's like Hispanics have double the rate of diabetes. Don't you think people might want to find out why that's happening? I know why. I've gone and read the medical literature. Maybe I shouldn't even tell people. If I tell people, they don't seem to care. If I make something a mystery and say tomorrow, I will tell you why Hispanics have higher rates of diabetes. Then everybody would tune in to find out. If I just tell you, no one cares. But do you know how many brain damaged people are walking around, how many brain damaged men who are screwed up and have learning disabilities, and why they've got giant wings at public schools now for all the autistic kids with all the different neurological disorders? It's because we're shooting little boys up with stuff that literally eats their brains. And boys are more susceptible to autoimmune responses because boys don't have as thick of a blood-brain barrier. Girls are tougher. But now vaccines are so deadly, it's starting to hit girls. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Open your eyes. It's time to give your eyes a powerful nutritional boost. Sight is the primary input to the brain, arguably making eyesight the most important sense we have. And just like the other important organs in our bodies, our eyes function at peak levels when they are fed the proper amounts of essential nutrition. Open your eyes. Combining key ingredients like vitamin A, zinc, lutein, proprietary saffron bulb extracts, and more, OcuPower by InfoWars Life is a new formulation specifically designed to nutritionally assist the natural function of healthy eyes. Optimize the natural power of your eyes with the latest addition to the super high-quality InfoWars Life formulations, OcuPower. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to order OcuPower or call 1-888-253-3139. OcuPower. Open your eyes.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield, true nascent iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Here's some of the headlines if you just joined us. The filmmaker James O'Keefe has done it again. Dressed as an Ebola-infected ISIS terrorist, he snuck across Lake Erie from Canada to Cleveland and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, dressed like a jihadi with bags marked Ebola, ricin, and other deadly and communicable toxins and diseases. And he will be on the broadcast tomorrow, I'm told, and we do also have Colonel Schaefer on to give us the inside intel on Benghazi and what's happening with ISIS. Continuing, an Ebola-infected ISIS terrorist could easily motorboat across Lake Erie and reach Ohio from Canada, according to an American conservative filmmaker who videotaped a fictionalized one jihad incursion, in a black uniform and a rubber boat, it was so obvious, from Lake Erie, and released the footage today. On the eve of 9/11 anniversary, our man, dressed as an ISIS terrorist, was able to cross Lake Erie, walk off a boat into Cleveland, Ohio, and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, guerrilla documentarian James O'Keefe narrates. At no point did anyone question him or ask what he was carrying in his suspicious brown duffel bag. No. Because all the security theater is about keeping the American people in line, henpecking us, putting us in naked body scanners, humiliating us to break our will and train us to be slaves who are illegally surveilled and have our rights violated. But if you can get here from anywhere in the world, even if you have a criminal record, they will instantly legalize you and set your deportation hearing for 3, 4, or 5 years out. But if you want to come here legally and do it properly, and if you have skills, it doesn't matter if you're from India or Europe, they make it very hard to get into this nation. It's just outrageous. I was thinking if we have Paul Watson, he might move here this year. And I should push him to do it. And do I go talk to a business lawyer? Because we've been looking into it. It'd just be easier to have him come over here on 6-month visas and then just go back and come back and he'd still be here legal. But if we try to go through all the proper hoops and things to have our reporter here who's worked with me for 12, 13 years, oh, no, you can't have that. That's how sick it is. So you have all of that going on. Meanwhile, speaking of Ebola, Ebola is surging in places it had been beaten back. Associated Press, more than 2,000 deaths now from it. They fear up to 100,000 will be infected by the end of the year. Obama says U.S. military to provide equipment, resources to battle Ebola epidemic in Africa. And now it could gestate for a lot longer period, making it more likely that it will end up getting into the United States. That's in the Washington Post. Resentment simmers in Liberia's Ebola jail town. Trapped since officials placed them in quarantine 2 weeks ago, the residents of Dolo town are becoming increasingly resentful over their incarceration in Liberia's open Ebola jail. 7,000 people, increasingly hungry residents in the settlement close to the international airport, are forced to stand in line for rations or rice while soldiers blockade them at gunpoint. That gives you an idea of what will happen if there's a smallpox or Ebola outbreak or SARS outbreak here. Of course, there's already been outbreaks of superviruses and things. Massive deaths this year and last year in the winter from respiratory diseases, drug-resistant bacteria and viruses, and just huge death tolls. I've talked to countless medical doctors in person. You've heard them call in. I lost 3 family members to it in East Texas alone. The hospitals were overflowing. They said they'd never seen anything like it, turning people away. I talked to the funeral home people at all 3 funerals. I figured it out by the second one. And they said, oh, my gosh, it's high cotton for us. They didn't use those words, but they said, we're working 7 days a week around the clock, planting people in the ground. When they lowered my uncle in the ground, the last family member to die this year, and he was an exercise guy, never smoked, you name it. Everybody drove off and left to go have the wake. And I stayed there with my son while they buried him. And I talked to the gravediggers, and they said, yeah, it's bad, but it's not in the news. So when there's a real pandemic in this country and they don't have a way of containing it, you're just not going to be told about it. But they could use something like Ebola or mousepox or something like that that has over a 90% kill rate if you don't get treatment, 50% if you do. That's conservative numbers. More than conservative numbers, those are just basic. The numbers vary. They could use it as a smokescreen for a martial law takeover. So that's a microcosm of that. The toll-free number to join us, I specifically also want to talk to listeners about the fact that MSNBC, the Obama presidency, the Al Sharpton race baiting, in lieu of a good economy, in lieu of the welfare state breaking down, in lieu of the welfare checks not keeping up with inflation, you're seeing more crime in the inner cities. You're seeing more racial attacks on whites. Every week we see it in local news, sometimes every day. And the media will never call it what it is, even when it's on the videos, that it is racially motivated. And we have one of these videos we're going to play in a moment. The article is up on Infowars.com. Over 100 teens swarm Memphis Plaza, knock out shoppers. Why not just start lynching them? Because, you know,